Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. So what I want to talk about this morning is how, and y'all forgive my lighting because it's still a little early in the morning and the sun is doing the most. But anyway, I want to talk about how does the pain stop, or how can I get the pain to stop for good? And when I say pain, I can mean anything. I can mean the addiction. I can mean the pain from the heartbreak that you feel, and I can mean the pain from your childhood. I can mean whatever pain that you're going through. Some of us are going through some really deep pain, and we have been trying to get rid of it. We've been trying to dull it for a while, and we can't really seem to stop the pain. So what stops the pain for good? What heals the heartbreak for good? And the answer is very simple. It's Jesus. And that sounds cliche, and that sounds really it sounds more simple to say than to really try. But the truth is it is Jesus. Having your own personal relationship with God is the only way that you can really get the pain to stop, and to stop permanently. And I say that because I've been through a lot of things in my life. It's the good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Jess, as well as a lot of other people who watch, my videos and the videos of others and all of that. And we are dealing with people who are hurting very deeply, and maybe even going through some things that people have no idea they're going through, fighting some things they've been fighting their whole lives, and they're wondering, why is it that nothing that I do is helping to heal the pain? And the answer is very simple, because in this world, we seek temporary fixes. So we do things that we think will stop the pain, and it may for a little bit. We overwork ourselves. We dive headfirst into work, and we don't let up. And we work all the overtime that we can, and we want to be put on the schedule as much as possible. We will basically live in our office. We want to go to as many parties as we can. We want to hang out with our friends as much as we can. We want to go on every road trip and every cruise and get every plane ticket that we can. We want to travel and visit new places. We drink and we smoke and we sleep around because we think somehow that is going to stop the pain that we're feeling. And it may for a little bit. Most of those things that I just mentioned over my life during different periods or seasons of time where I was dealing with some very deep pain, I tried those things and they did not work. And I would always, and it may be temporary. Temporarily, I might feel good. I would go after a breakup. I would go on a road trip. I will never forget, after I broke up with the person that I had been with the longest in any of my relationships, I thought, I needed a road trip. So I went on a road trip to Shreveport, Louisiana, all by myself. And it was peaceful, and I slept good, and I went and I did some sightseeing because I had never been there in my life. And I went and gambled, and I just had a good time. And I felt really good. And I was like, hey, I might be able to really get through this breakup, and I might be all right, until I got home. And when I got home and I unpacked and I sat down in my room, I was just as empty and hurt as I was before I gassed up my car and went all the way to Shreveport trying to run away from some pain, and I came home to it. People, we see people that smoke weed all day, every day. Well, I'm gonna lose some followers for it, whatever. I'm how you live your life is on it, it's up to you. I'm not, but what I'm saying is that my experience, no matter how much I smoked, no matter how much I drank, no matter how much I traveled and tried to run from the pain, it was there when I came home. It was there when I came down from the high. It was there when I sobered up. It was there when I got up out of that bed with that person I shouldn't have been in the bed with. It was there, and it's always going to be there until you get with God and you truly allow. Because the reason that we steer clear of God is because we don't want to go through the process of having to feel the pain. That's really the problem. Every time that I ever have really gone through long periods of pain, I didn't go to God because I was afraid of what I was going to have to do to get through it. I didn't want God to say, well, you're going to have to be single for a while to get through it. I wanted to be around as many people as I could. I wanted to date and talk to and entertain as many people as I could to feel like I was filling the space that the pain was leaving in my life. And the truth was that I wasn't doing anything really but adding to it. And I was dulling it for a little bit, but I was never actually getting rid of it. So it wasn't until I really got with God and I was like, okay, God, I'm terrified to really trust you with my life and my heart and my pain, but I am out of options. I can't smoke enough to get rid of it. I can't drink enough to get rid of it. I can't sleep around enough to get rid of it. I can't work enough to distract me enough to get rid of it. I can't travel enough to run far enough from it. God, I need your help to help me stop this pain, because the truth is that you having a relationship with God, you having a relationship with your Father who knows you and created you and loves you and wants to heal the places that you're broken, is what's going to stop that pain for good. Now, I'm not saying that you'll never have another painful moment. I'm not saying that. Jesus told us that in this world we would have trouble, but to take heart because he's overcome it. And so when he says, I've overcome it, that's him saying every painful moment that you go through, every deep-rooted broken place in your life, every season of brokenheartedness, every tear that you cry, I have numbered. Every broken piece of you, I've already overcome it. And all you need to do is come to me, those who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Come to me, those who are broken, and I will teach you that you're already whole in me. Come to me, those who are brokenhearted, because I'm not a high priest who has not been touched with the feelings of your afflictions, and I understand, and I want to help you, and I want to be your living water, and I want to be everything that you need. And I wasn't until I really dug in my heels and said, okay, God, I commit to living my life with you and doing it your way. That's when I got free from a lot of pain, even from my childhood, pain from when I was a teenager, pain from my younger adult years when I was, becoming a young adult and went through some things I shouldn't have went through. There's a lot of pain in my life that for a lot of years I carried it around trying to get rid of it all the wrong ways. And then when I got with God and I built my relationship with him, he began to heal me from the inside out. And so the pain was no longer temporarily dulled or temporarily healed. It was healed for good. Things that I had fought with my whole life, things that I had fought with for years in a matter of months, was healed and gone, and it doesn't bother me anymore. And I barely remember that it happened. I was sitting last week and I was thinking about relationships, because you guys know that I'm getting ready to start a 5-week relationship. Probably it'll be next month, the 5-week relationship series. And I was looking back over my life at some of my most painful breakups, and I could barely remember how it felt. People that I thought I would never be without, and I could barely remember why I felt that way. I could barely remember how it felt to be even brokenhearted over them or to care about them. And I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, wow, I can barely remember that time in my life. Why? Because God got off in my heart and he began to restore and renew and to give back the things that I had lost, and he replaced it with so much better. The Bible says that he's a restorer of time. And what that means is that you don't get time back, but what he gives you back makes up for the time that you lost, so much so that it seems as though that time never happened. And that's really what God did in my life, and it's still doing in my life. So when I look back at some of those moments, I'm like, man, I don't even remember what it felt like to hurt over that person, because God has restored so much in my life that it's almost like that time never happened in my memory and in my heart. And so if you're wondering today, if you're going through something, if you've lost a loved one, or you're divorced, or you've lost a spouse, or you've lost a child, or even you're dealing with the consequences of things that you've done to yourself, or you're heartbroken, you're going through a breakup, or whatever it is, whatever the pain is that you're feeling, the only way that pain is going to stop and subside for good is through Jesus Christ, who by his stripes we are healed. So not really sure why that was on my heart this morning, other than God wanted me to speak that word to somebody who's watching, who's hurting, because we need to know that we serve a God who loves us, that we do have a healer who is able to heal us and make us new and give us beauty for our ashes, and he loves us and he wants to heal us. So if you're going through something painful and you've tried everything that you can and nothing is working, I promise you, give it to God. Trust him through the process. It's going to hurt. I didn't say it was easy. It is never easy. It wasn't easy when I started, and it's still not easy now. And I'm really, I'm into my walk. I've been here for a while doing this, and it's still not easy, but it is so worth it. Last year when I went through my breakup, I was like, God, how am I going to get through this? But he said, trust me with your heart, trust me with your tears, trust me with the knots in your stomach, trust me with every part of it. And do you know that 30 minutes, and I'm not playing, y'all, I had just moved into my apartment, and this was the day after I moved into my apartment, and I had to come to work late, and God said, if you will just get up and take a shower and put your clothes on and get in your car and drive to work, trust me with the pain you're feeling right now, and I'll take care of it. And I was like, God, there is no way that I'm going to be able to get to work and function through this pain. Do y'all know 30 minutes later, I got to work and I was able to laugh and I was able to smile and joke with my coworkers, and I got home that night, and yeah, I could still feel the pain, but I could eat, which was new for me because anytime that I've ever been heartbroken, it was hard to eat. But I got home that evening and I ate and I watched TV and I laughed and I went to sleep that night and I slept good, didn't miss a beat, and got up the next day, and it was a little easier and it was a little easier and it was a little easier every day over time until God completely restored me. And it was like, I remember it happening, and yeah, I still think about it and I have the memories, but the truth of it is that God did it. The pain that I never thought I'd be able to get through, God did it. So I want to share that word with you guys. I hope that it blessed you this morning. I love you guys, and I will probably talk to you again sometime later on today.